I was at the Home Depot. There I am sitting in line, almost getting arrested, and you would say this guy's a troublemaker. No, it can happen to you tomorrow for simply stating that you have rights and freedoms and that they're being taken away. And I'm gonna get arrested for quoting. What's going to happen to you? We have the power to haul you away and put you in prison. And no, command, not by some law that's been set up by your governor, but by the secret. We have now been taken over by the New World Order. Proof and evidence what happened to me yesterday standing in your lines of the freedom that you've given up. I went to buy two pieces of lumber, and what do I see? A canvas outside the size of Idaho. You know, you got to get into this line, you got to social distancing, all this thing, which nobody was doing, by the way, anyway, because that's ridiculous. A virus spreads 20 feet, not 6, so if they sneeze up there, you're going to get it no matter what. But anyway, I had my mask on. I'm there to buy a couple of pieces of 2x, some 2x4. I need some 2x4. Anyway, I noticed something I've never noticed before. Two police officers in the front of the line. Two police officers right there in the front of the line. And who else? Two other guards, young men, the ages you would think of recruitment, just like the Nazis did, between 19 and 20 years old, young little punks there with their little guns. So you have an intimidation factor. Not only do I have to sit there and stand in line, but now I have an intimidation factor to tell me, hey, this is official. If you don't follow the policy that we've set up, whose policy? The WHO, the World Health Organization. And by the way, what happened to me yesterday standing in your lines of the freedom that you've given up to these guys for the cause of safety. Benjamin Franklin said that if you give up your freedoms for the cause of safety, you are not worthy of those freedoms. And guess what? Once they take those freedoms, they will not give them back. But I know, I'm not here to preach to you about something that you don't understand, that most of you have an eyes closed to. I'm here to talk to the people that know what I'm talking about, to tell you that the time is now come. I have proof about the New World Order here in your hometowns. They've actually spread a net out and it's in place. You are going to get arrested with a foolproof document, dragged out of a line and sent to a concentration camp. How do I have proof? Let me tell you what happened to it. So I took my cell phone, some pictures of those officers in the front, put it away thinking, hey, I'm not going to cause any trouble. I'm not here to troublemaker. I'm here to buy a couple pieces of wood. So I stand there like everybody else, like fish, ready to get some wood. And what happens? I talk to the guy next to me and I say something like this, hey, take a load of this. Look at these guys in the front. They are here like Nazis, ready to intimidate everybody, to cause this New World Order. Because why? We're all going to fall in line, but they have to make sure that they're going to give us fear by putting these guys up there. So we're afraid, hey, let's make sure we're standing up straight, chest sticked out. Why? Because there's police of intimidation up there. So I'm commenting to this guy and to the guy behind me, and you know what? They're agreeing with me. They're like nodding and they like what I'm saying, and I'm not talking loud, I'm talking normal. Anyway, the officers in front, and I didn't notice this, are already arresting somebody. They're arresting a woman. I don't know what she did, because I'm over here busy talking with these two guys and waiting my turn because it's a long line. Well, I've been talking to these guys for a little while now. Again, private conversation between me and them that goes something like this. Hey, we have rights in this country. We have the freedom of speech, assembly, press, religion, and petition to the government whenever we want to. And I pointed them, this is incredible. We're losing our rights everywhere. I mean, when was the last time you were able to go to church? Not for a while, right? Of any church, Jewish, Muslim, Catholic, Church of Jesus Christ, whatever you are, freedom of religion has been handed over on a platter. Now, when was the last time you were able to have any visitors in your home? oh, wait a minute, stop it. You can't have any visitors in your home. Why not? Because the New World Order says you can. So this is the kind of conversation I'm having with these two dudes, and we're agreeing with each other. So we get to the front of the line. And the lady in front says to me, because now I'm quoting the First Amendment again, freedom of speech, religion, press, assembly, and the right to the petition. And she tells me, hey, you're not allowed to be saying such conversations. You're not allowed to be giving these kind of conversations because they're making people uneasy. They're making people uneasy. Well, the question for me is who? Right? World Health Organization, who am I making uneasy? Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm having a private conversation with two citizens that aren't being forced to be 6 feet apart. I was having a conversation with them, and this is a private conversation. As far as I know, we're in America, freedom of speech. So I turn to this woman and say, what, I'm not allowed to speak? Because we have freedom of speech in this country. And she said, we don't have freedom of speech. And I said, that is incredible, we don't have freedom of speech. You mean we don't have freedom to say that we have the freedom of speech, religion, press, assembly, and the right to petition? And she runs to her manager. Incredible. Now the manager comes out, and I've never seen a lady like this in the store. And I live in Home Depot because all I do is remodel my house. I'm sitting there building it, remodeling, fixing the sinks, etc., etc. So I live in Home Depot, and I know the managers. They always give me discounts. You just have to ask them. They're nice guys. But here comes a Chinese woman, a Chinese lady I've never seen before. And what surprised me was her skill at knowing exactly how to respond to the situation. What situation? Somebody's talking about amendments. So she comes out with an official document. And I don't know what this document was, but it was a sheet of paper. And what I noticed is it didn't have the Home Depot letterhead on it. It just simply had big bold letters on top of it. It said forbidden speech. So I looked at that document and I kind of tried to scan it, and she said to me, you're not allowed to incite the public like this. And I said, what do you mean incite the public? I'm talking to these two guys about the freedoms that we've lost, which are First Amendment rights. And they're trying to go after the guns of people, Second Amendment rights, but most importantly, freedom of speech, religion, press, assembly, and you get my point. And she goes, wow, she says, with this document, I have the right, I have the power to right now cite you, and if you don't fall in line with my first warning, incarcerate you. I have the power to have these gentlemen take you away, these police officers. And I said, what am I being indicted for? So I pull out my phone at that point, and I want to take a picture of what's going on, right? And I say, let me see a piece of that document. I'm going to take a picture. She doesn't let me take a picture. And I say, I have rights in America. I have a right to take a picture of that document because that document's going to send me to jail, and I want to know exactly what I'm being sent to jail for. So I'm scanning that document as quick as I can, and it says something about forbidden speech, that you are not allowed things of freedom and things of the Constitution. So that is exactly what this document was about. So I say, I want to take a picture of this document, and she said to me, you can't take a picture of the document. In fact, she took the document so quickly and ran back to the back of to the little part of the store back there where the police officers are trying to arrest this lady and process her. Now, in the meantime, some setup guy, this was one of the patsies or something, because people don't act this way. Some patsy from the line that's already put there by the government. This is my suspicion, because people don't react this way to none of their business as usual. So this guy that's about probably 55 to 60 years old jumps out of the line, passes the barrier that they put there, which nobody cares about that, and starts screaming at me and screaming at the audience, in other words, the people in line, and telling him the following. He starts saying, this man does not care for you or your rights or freedoms. In fact, this man does not understand that this virus has killed the blood of Americans. Do you know how many Americans the COVID-19 has killed? I will gladly give up my freedom and all my rights to save the lives, and then he points at the crowd, of you, and you. We're saving American lives here. Now this guy is having a fit. This guy is causing the commotion. This guy is causing a public nuisance. Not me talking to a couple of new buds here that I'm sharing some constitutional ideas with. You get my drift? But no, do they care about him forwarding the agenda, the New World Order? No, they don't. They care about me talking about your rights so that you start to go, wait a minute. I haven't been able to go to church. I haven't been able to have the right to assembly. And what about freedom of speech? Well, you can see Mr. Noriega doesn't have freedom of speech anymore. We're taking that away too. And the right to petition your government? No, sirree. The right for anything. So, in the meantime, I'm fed up at this point. I turn to the people and I say to the guy, not in a screaming voice, but in a stern, firm, authoritative voice. Why? Because I have the truth of freedom behind me, which I say to this guy, and then I say to this audience, talk about American blood. You want to know American blood that was shed and actually spilt? The most noble and righteous American blood that was spilt? It was the blood of the founding fathers. It was the blood of the veterans. It was the blood of all those people that gave their lives so that you could shop at Walmart, could shop at your convenience store down the street, and could go to whatever church, Muslim, Jewish, Catholic, or whatever you want. I tell them that precious blood was spilled. That's the American lives that we're talking about. And freedom is worth much more than anything else. Anything else. The guy was shocked, the 65-year-old patsy from the government, and just, I don't know what happened to him, but they didn't care, because by this point the lady has run off to the officers and she is now demanding that I get arrested. And they tell her, I can see him over there, oh yeah, we'll go, but we're busy with this lady, we're processing this lady. So they're sitting there processing this lady, and so this manager, this Chinese woman, comes that I've never seen before, sent from China. And again, the wonder of it all is the incredible skill at which he had to produce some document that I've never seen before, and exactly what's going to happen to me. And mind you, a secret document. When they're processing this lady, she comes back to me in a fury and says, they're busy with this lady, they're processing her. You wait right here and an officer will be with you shortly. And again, I say to her, and I'm getting arrested for what? This is fantastic, because I will be the first martyr. I will be the first martyr that is hauled away for freedom of speech, for the right of religion, for freedom of assembly, for the right to petition, for my rights that are God-given. I will gladly sacrifice myself. So stay right there. She's infuriated that I quoted the Constitution once more time. Goes and runs back, and I sit there twiddling my thumbs, right? Thinking about my speech that I'm going to give to these officers as soon as they come back. And I look the guy in the face, this guy with the United something or other. It was like a dark tan, a light brownish outfit, United something. I didn't see what it was, but it wasn't a local. It was from some government entity that I'm not familiar with, and with his gun, 19-year-old. And I look him in the face and I say, you see, you are part of this. I can't speak the First Amendment of the United States, and you've witnessed all this, and you should have your smartphone out recording all this, because you've witnessed all this and you're right there, and you are witnessing me, and I'm going to get arrested for quoting the First Amendment of the Constitution. That's what, and you should have seen this guy, because when you're on the wrong side, when you're on the side of New World Order and taking over, you have guilt. You have guilt upon you. And so you should have seen him squirming over there, this little poor little 19-year-old brainwashed, 20-year-old brainwashed boy with his gun in his side. And, he was just looking up, ashamed, I was right. But then I thought something else. If I get arrested, if I call the media, if I do anything else, they're just going to twist it. They're going to say some loon was out there yelling, causing a public disturbance, not lining up as he should be, or some lie. They're going to invent some lie. That's why she didn't let me take a picture of the document. That's why everything that happened was happening quickly. And if those guys weren't already arresting somebody else, I would have been in handcuffs for citing your First Amendment. Now, this is what we've gotten to. What are you going to do? Get in line and wait your turn for the slaughter? This is